Yeah, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. Your 5-year-old child is playing out in front of your house with his sisters. Just imagine this for a second. You're the child's mother. You're the child's father. Forget about the skin optics. Forget about the color. We're talking about a 5-year-old child. Your child. Imagine for a second. Your child is out front of your house playing, riding his bike with his sisters. He stops in front of your neighbor's house. Your neighbor comes up out of his house, pulls out a gun, puts it to your child's head, and squeezes the trigger. What would your first reaction be? Outside of the horror and the shock and the trauma of having to witness that. A cold-blooded execution killing of a 5-year-old child who's completely innocent of all things. Hasn't contributed no kind of negativity, hatred, injustice, or anything to anybody in this world. He's 5 years old. Once the shock sets in and everything is done and over with, what would be your first reaction? What would you do? Me personally, I can't speak about the things that I would do to this man, but I'd make a statement. A very loud and powerful statement. I would spend the rest of my life in prison. There's no justification whatsoever for this crime. For what happened to 5-year-old Cannon. But there's a whole slew of sick fucking people out there that'll try to spin this in every which way they can, and they've already done it. This guy, Darius Sessoms, if I'm saying his name right, is a piece of shit. He's expressed his feelings about how he feels about somebody of another race before. But of course, Google and all the rest of the mainstream media and everybody in charge has done everything to bury anything this man has ever said or done in his life. What are his thoughts about a racially motivated political group? All that's been erased as well. There was even a page put out on Facebook saying justice for Darius Sessoms. Believing him to be a political prisoner. Saying that a Trump supporter or somebody on the right killed this child. When all witness accounts prove that to be bullshit. He did it. He pulled the trigger. You notice how I've taken the complete color of the child's skin all the way out of the equation, outside of the politics. But Darius Sessoms was a supporter of Black Lives Matter, but that's all been erased now. This killing was in regards to the tinfoil hat conspiracy of white privilege that you hear all the time. There's one person on this earth that's responsible for all of this. We'll talk about her in another episode because we're not going to make this about her. We're not going to make this about white privilege. But we are going to use all the details surrounding this case in order to make you understand what's going on and what we need to do, how we need to be better with each other. So instead of being outraged about the death of a 5-year-old child, it's become political now. You don't see mass protests of right-wingers out there chanting Cannon's name, burning down the CNN headquarters, although who would be upset if they did? Storming Martha's Vineyard to burn down Barack Obama's house, doing any of these things, running to Nancy Pelosi, burning down San Francisco over this. None of that is going on. But the media is quick on it. Quick on it. They're quick. They're quick to respond and react and start talking about the fake news and everything that's going on. You could do that all day long, but what are people's thoughts on all of this? Some of these posts have been put on Facebook, and I got to tell you, some of the comments are disgusting. Think of this guy right here. Dante Salvador, or Dante Segona, which they found out who his real name was. He shut down all of his social media profiles. He left up his LinkedIn, but then recently shut that one down. Works at a barber shop, lives in the San Francisco area. His little white brain's blown all out. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. So is that an endorsed statement by the organization Black Lives Matter? Is that their thoughts and their feelings? Think about some of the other things that some people that are a part of Black Lives Matter have said in the past. Kill white people. Since Cannon was a white child, why not kill him? This has become something that is disturbing and disgusting. Another one saying, yeah, he got what he deserved. This Terrell Kent, who you go on his Facebook account, which is still up, he'll tell you that his little brother got a hold of his phone and put that up there. So he didn't deny that it was posted. He just said he didn't post it. Instead of addressing how horrible and how outraged he is over his brother's statements, he didn't leave any apology or anything. He didn't attempt to donate to Cannon's family, put out a statement of apology or anything. He just said, quit blowing up my inbox. My little brother did that. I didn't do that. So then your little brother should get on social media and apologize. But he don't care. It's a sweep under the rug, and everybody just bought it. Then he's talking about putting cases on people for terrorist threats. Yeah. What are you going to do? Call the cops? The same cops you want to defund or abolish? Fuck you is what I say to that guy. The guy should be beaten to every inch of his life. But he won't be. But this Dante Salvador, you take a look at his picture. He hates his own skin or whatever it is that he is. He should probably just stick a gun in his mouth and just blow his own brains out. Do us all a favor. People that praise the harm of children should not be allowed to breathe. But this goes to show you why I can never support the left. And why I'll never support them. Their feelings towards children are appalling. They show that every single day with their abortion clinics, with everything they do, with all their child pornography and pedophiles and everything running in their ranks. And when you try to bring it to their attention, guess what? The Wonder Woman deflector bracelets start coming out. Bing, 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 bing. Deflect, deflect. I even watched a piece on YouTube where some guy was sitting there going, yeah, Cannon. But what about Breonna Taylor? Seriously? Are you out of your fucking rabbit-ass mind? The deflector bracelets, once again, Wonder Woman to the rescue. Breonna Taylor and little 5-year-old Cannon, two totally different circumstances. While it's unfortunate what happened to Breonna Taylor, that was a law enforcement issue. Cannon was killed by a racist lunatic who was definitely racist. I don't care what the media and everybody has forced Cannon's mom to say, her statement. Oh, it wasn't racially motivated. How the fuck do you know what it was? His own statements have convicted him long ago, but all that stuff's been erased. We talk about the media bias and the fact that nobody's even reported on this. But the thoughts and feelings of the people that support the left, The people that support like the AOCs and the Bidens and the Harrises and all the rest of them. Take, for example, Rome Smith, a correctional officer in New Jersey who was suspended. And I'll put some more emphasis on that one. He was suspended for leaving a comment saying he should have ducked. A 5-year-old child who had a gun pointed at him, he should have ducked. That's what he said. And then he went into the whole thing about you talking about innocent black people that were killed and all this and this and this and that. I don't need to make it a race issue. Those people already have made it a race issue. I'm doing everything in my power to make sure this don't become a race issue, is why I'm discussing it today with yous. You should have ducked. He should have ducked. You would think this guy would be fired, right? Wrong. He was just suspended. He'll probably get reinstated once all the heat dies down. Can you imagine for 1 second if I was a correctional officer at that same facility and when the George Floyd thing came out, I said he should have wore an oxygen tank? Or in the case of Breonna Taylor, what if I would have put out a piece saying she should have wore a bulletproof vest? What do you think would happen to me? You think I would just get suspended? I'd be fired. I'd be shunned. I'd be shamed. The mob would show up to my house and burn it down. I'd probably be executed on my front lawn. I would never say something like that. But do you see the difference? We talk about racism in this country. When you go to the left and all the leftist apologists with their endless supply of rebuttals to everything that you may say, the one thing that they have agreed upon, the center stone for everything that is about the description of racism, the definition in their eyes, is you can only be racist if you have the power to assert that racism against other people. Okay. So who has the power in the media? It's not me. It's definitely not me. People in the left have the power of the media. You see them use it all the time. They make stories disappear on Google. They don't report on shit that should be reported on. They give a lackluster description of things that are like the issue with Cannon. They are in complete control of the media. So they use that power to assert this racism. Bam, in your face. They have the power of the media and they use it to further their racism every single day. How are you going to rebut your way out of that one? Because this is something that we know and that we see. There are a lot of problems with what is going on in this country. No question. You have a lot of police officers that have abused their power and have used it as such. You have a lot of sick people out there that believe that children are just like meat at a meat market. Or there's some kind of vegetable you could just pick out in a field. To be exploited, to be abused, killed, drain their blood, sacrifice them. This hatred for children is disturbing. It's alarming. It's nuts that this man right here can just get swept under the rug. Imagine for 1 second that was Richard Spencer. And Cannon was a black child. What do you think would happen if white Richard Spencer would have went out there and shot him in the head? We'd still be hearing about it today. That's when I say that, yes, the left-leaning media has the power to control the narrative. So they'll pick and choose. The hypocrisy of it all is crazy. I would be equally outraged if it was Richard Spencer that shot a child of color. I'd be pissed off too. I'd be demanding justice. I would make an example out of Richard Spencer just like I would out of Darius Sessoms. But you see, I'm a different kind of breed. I don't play into these narratives and these optics. Got his little white brains blown out. This is just a start. We're coming for the rest of you. Kill them all. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Rome Smith, he should have ducked. Many more. Some ass clown making a YouTube video in a Zoom meeting talking about, yeah, it's just tragic what happened in Canada, but what about Breonna Taylor? That's a whole different story. Other people like, oh, comparing it to George Floyd, whole different story. George Floyd and Breonna Taylor were in a 5-year-old child, right? Law enforcement issues on those. This is, like I said, a lunatic, a racist lunatic. And I'm going to call him that, a racist lunatic. Now, a lot of people are talking about, oh, he's in prison. He's going to get what he deserves. Somebody's going to get him. Nobody's going to do shit to him. This happened in North Carolina. In that prison system right there, people are butt raping people all the time. You got chomos and rapists running around in general population. They don't care. What makes you think they're going to care about this guy? There's a little white child. Nobody in the North Carolina prison system cares. Get real, people. He shows up in California, he'll probably die. But we're talking North Carolina. This negative attitude towards children, the abuse of children, the pedophilia, the trafficking, the people that get on social media and straight re-abuse survivors of sexual abuse, all of these people on the left, they're all sick and disgusting and they're disturbing to, I can't even find the right words for it. All these people should be lined up in a mass firing squad. Just get rid of them. When people try to tell me that all lives matter, you know why I find it hard to say all lives matter or any lives matter, anything with that statement, lives matter? Because it's as I said, there's many people out there in this world, their lives don't mean shit to me at all. I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire, some of these people. The people that abuse children, the people that think that it's okay to kill a child because his skin optics is something they hate. The people that spend countless hours trying to re-victimize the survivors of sexual abuse, all those people should be lined up and shot. And if any of them were on fire, I wouldn't piss on them. Fire is the cleansing for which the wicked must endure, to burn it off. And I would dance around the flames of that. All this shit's got to stop. All these narratives and all these chess pieces that are being moved in each which direction, turning us against each other. Meanwhile, have you seen the fucking circus that's going on around you in the political world? This so-called two-party system we got? There's no two-party system. They're all in bed together. So when people ask me, you're a Trump supporter, you're a Biden supporter, Trump supporter, Biden supporter, I'm not a supporter of any of them because they're all the same to me. What kind of a trial does this Darius need? You already know he did it. There's no trial involved here. You take him out back, you drop him to his knees, you put one in his fucking head. That's the justice right there. Fuck wasting a bunch of taxpayer dollars on a trial. When you know for a fact this person's dead guilty, trial by judge. 1 hour to let you know what you did. Take him out there, and it's like one person said, torture him for about a week, a month, even a year. Go out there with a gun, never tell him when the bullet's going to be in the chamber, just keep putting to his head and popping, ping, empty chamber. Do that every single day. He thinks today's the day he's going to die, ping. Nah, maybe tomorrow. This shit's got me heated, man, with everything that I've read. Shout out to Lou Wolf for sending me all those photos in my DM so that I can find the names of these people, like Rome Smith, like Trent, like Terrell Kent, like Dante Salvador Segona. Works at Mike's Barbershop or some shit. Another pansy fucking snowflake lefty that fucking, really, everybody should find that dude, hang him upside down, and just beat him like a piñata. That's what should happen with people like that. You make a statement like that, your words re-victimize people every single day. Imagine if this child's mother would have read that. And then they force her to go on the media and explain how this is not a racially motivated attack. With all of that out there that you see, it's definitely racially motivated. But how could we be better? We could be better by understanding that the celebrity elite power structure and all its mainstream media goons and lapdogs are keeping each of us at each other's throats so that they could seize power. Manufacturing villains and all that shit. What kind of justice could be served in a case like this? You can't bring the child back. Even by killing this man doesn't bring any justice, really. We have to stop all this nonsense already. Stop with all this division, all this hatred. Find some kind of common ground and build upon that. There's always going to be bigotry, people. But the question is how do we manage it? How do we control it to where it doesn't harm others? How do we teach people how to learn to work with everybody? Forget about the skin optics. Just keep your personal opinions of somebody. Keep it professional and respectful in all your willings and dealings. Requires a whole lot of cognitive retraining. It's a long road ahead, but we need to stop all this. It's got to stop. All the talking points, rebuttals, and catchphrases and cliches and everything with it. Enough already, people. You already know what it is. You heard it right here. Prison Break Raw, uncut, uncensored, no holds barred, non-sugarcoat, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping you with that dick of reality. And I'm out.